Well, since Spider-Man was one of my favorites when I was young, and Spider-Man's in theaters right now, why don't we take a look at his data file. A sample data file looks like this. It's going to cover 2 pages. On the left-hand side, you've got your game information, your mechanics. And over here on the right page, you're going to have some history of the character, some information about their personality, and then this is using more of the game lingo, the game vocabulary. Over here is a nice summary put into more of a paragraph form of what their abilities and powers are all about. So it might say something like swing line over here, but over here it explains very clearly that those are web shooters or web spinners. What did they call them? Web shooters. Yes. So this is pretty nice. This is kind of a pulled back full view. But right here I want to mention, in relation to just what we covered about die pools, this game doesn't use hit points. It actually tracks damage in 3 different areas: physical damage or physical stress, mental stress, and emotional stress. And this is kind of a damage track. And you see these different shapes. These are representative of different die types: D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. So before, when we rolled our total and then we said the effect die is a D10, and let's say we were punching Spider-Man right in the gut. Well, Spider-Man would take physical D10 damage, so he would already be up to a D10. That means that in the future, if we hit Spider-Man and we do even some more damage, that's probably going to step up to a D12, because that's the next level. And then if we hit him again and we do even more damage, once he goes over a D12, then he's considered stressed out, and he's probably knocked out, or he starts suffering trauma, which is even worse than stress. So we'll talk some more about that later, but that's just the idea behind that effect die. That's going to determine how much damage your hero takes. So once it gets over a D12, you're in trouble. We're taking a look at the data file on the game information page. Let's say that Spider-Man was attempting some action within the story. I'm just thinking about the first Spider-Man movie that I saw that was done really well. Had Tobey Maguire in it, and Spider-Man was, can't remember if he was fully trusted or not yet by the authorities, but he was going to try to go into a burning building to save a child inside. And if I remember correctly in the film, he shot a web and launched himself up to the side of the building, and maybe used his wall crawling on the side of the building, spun some more webs, and swung in the window and jumped inside the burning building to start looking for the child. So let's imagine it's a scene like that. The first thing we would do to start putting together our pool, our dice pool, is to check our affiliations. You're going to choose one of these based on the situation, the circumstances. Solo is when your character is acting alone and your hero is by him or herself. Sometimes you've got a close buddy, like you might think of Batman and Robin working as buddies to fight crime. Sometimes Spider-Man might be working alongside Daredevil. When you're in a situation like that and you're working along with another hero, then you use your buddy die here. And then you know, Spider-Man has even been a part of the Avengers before, and you're a part of a team. So there, in that instance, you would use your team die So you're only going to choose one of those. And there are some good guidelines on determining if you're solo, if you're buddy, or if you're a team. So let's say you're trying to choose which die to take. You're solo if you're in a location or situation where there are no allies with you or helping you. You were with a team but were split off from them by some force or barrier which prevents you from working with them. Or you've moved your activity to a different level of conflict, such as the astral plane or through a computer system. You're going to stop being solo if other heroes show up to fight alongside you against the same opponent or group of opponents. You partner up with someone over a telepathic link or comm network in some way, and it lets you help or support that partner and vice versa. You have watcher characters like cops or SHIELD agents helping you out. You're no longer solo in those instances. Well, what about when to use the buddy die? Well, there's one other hero or supporting character working with you against the opposition or in pursuit of your goal. You're by yourself in the field, but you have another hero actively assisting you over a comm network or via telepathy. You and another member of your team split off to do something without the rest of the team present. I think a good example I can imagine with this is on the Xbox, and some people played it on the computer. I played a really good game called Batman Arkham Asylum, and you're connected over this comm link to Oracle, and you communicate with her, and she kind of helps you scan the area or give you some extra information. That could be considered a buddy. You're communicating actively over a comm unit and getting assistance. That could be a buddy. Batman and Robin together fighting against the opposition. Of course, you're going to use the buddy die there. So it doesn't always have to be a physical person right by your side. So if we go down here to the artwork, you see Spider-Man alongside Spider-Woman. Very representative of them being buddies there in the conflict. You stop having a buddy if you pick up a third hero or supporting character who helps you. You lose or deliberately part company with your companion, or your companion is knocked out in battle. You turn upon or are forced to engage in conflict with your partner or companion. They are no longer your buddy in those cases. Being a part of a team, you're one of at least 3 heroes or supporting characters working together in pursuit of a goal or against an opposing force. You're by yourself in the field, but you have at least 2 other heroes actively assisting you over a comm network or some means of telepathy. You have a squad or group of watcher characters assigned to you, such as SHIELD agents or first responders. You're no longer going to be using that team die if you lose contact with or are separated from your teammates, leaving you either alone or with a single partner. You intentionally leave a group and don't maintain voice, telepathy, or other contact with the group. You turn upon or are forced to engage in a conflict with the other heroes on your team, with or without another character aiding you against them. So you might be turning against them and becoming solo, or you might turn against the team with a buddy. But whatever the instance, you're no longer part of their team. So that's the basic idea behind choosing the right affiliation die for your die pool. Really helps you get things started. So what would you choose for us if we were Spider-Man attempting to rush inside the burning building? If you recall the first film, I would say that we would need to pull out a D8 for solo.